What's up, guys? I'm Joe. Today I'm talking about the new Nothing More album, The Stories We Tell Ourselves. So Nothing More is back with their fifth studio album. I actually did not realize they had been around for this long. With their last self-titled record, that's when they kind of got on my radar, honestly. And I thought it was pretty good. It's nothing that really stuck with me, nothing I really went back to. Then this album came out. I started hearing a lot of the hype right away. A lot of people seem to really love this record, so I figured I would check it out, give it a whole bunch of listens. I gotta say, it's a pretty great album. Very diverse sounds throughout this record. Something that I can say about it, which I think is pretty cool, it's something you don't really see that much, to kind of not only come out with a longer album. There's 18 tracks on here. A lot of them are these kind of shorter interludes, but still it leads to a fairly long run time of almost an hour. Not only to come out with a long album like this in the age of the internet and short attention span and singles and stuff like that, but to stick to a sort of concept, even it's not like a concept album, but like a more thematic feel to it. It feels like an album. And that's what I can appreciate about it. I'm a big album person. I like when things lend themselves to being listened to all the way through. And that's certainly what's going on here as far as the conceptual nature of it. Those interludes leading into each other, leading into different songs. And even the way the track listing is placed throughout the album kind of lends itself to like the vinyl age. And what I mean by that is, you would have a side A and a side B, and there'd be, technically two openers and two closers on the album. You see that more in older albums. You see an effort to kind of keep that attention going and keep that energy up. And I kind of feel like you see that here. Right smack dab in the middle of the album, you have a single. You have Go to War, which is a nice, energetic, kind of fist-pumping rocker. Just that placement kind of speaks to me with what they were going for here. They were going for an album, which is really cool, in 2017 for a newer rock band to be doing. Like I said, there's a lot of different, not so much different genres going on, but, a lot of different feel, a lot of different vibe throughout these songs. The first couple songs, Do You Really Want It, Let 'Em Burn, kind of lend themselves to like a early 2000s modern rock type thing. They kind of remind me of like Papa Roach at times or stuff like that. Like, definitely better than that, but, I'm not the biggest Papa Roach fan. There's a lot more energy here. The vocals are really great. This vocalist, Johnny Hawkins, really shines on the album. He has got a lot of different techniques, a lot of different styles, which is cool. They all work really well. They don't sound forced at any point. So those two tracks kind of give a lot of energy, but there wasn't anything that was really standing out to me just yet. It wasn't until Ripping Me Apart that I really started to get into this album. The song almost has, dare I say, nu metal type tendencies to it. The way, the angsty vocals or the kind of tortured sounding vocals, a la Corey Taylor or Jonathan Davis. I like the almost double kind of chorus here. You have that breakdown kind of thing as a pre-chorus with the electronics flying, and then, things kick into gear again, it speeds back up, the vocals are just soaring. It makes for a very big, epic sounding chorus, which you don't get a lot of in rock nowadays. I think The Great Divorce is another big standout on this album for me. It has got more of a slower drive to it, but the energy is certainly there. Like I said, the vocal diversity with Johnny Hawkins, you have the kind of more melodic, quieter side, but you also have the screaming and the energetic vocals, things like that really make the song, come to this whole nother level. Still in Love is another great one for me. More of like a ballady type feel to it, even though it has its heaviness, has its energy. I really like the vocals on here, and I think that the chorus is incredibly catchy. One thing I can say that kind of hurts that conceptual feel I was talking about before. I don't think all of the interludes really work as well as some others as segueing into, further songs. Some you start to hear either like a vocal line or something that's going to lend itself to what the next song is, and I like that. At their best, the interludes work to connect the songs, especially between tunnels and, the close in, fade out. Again, one of the biggest moments on the album is the closer. I like when albums close in a very strong way, and I like that the interludes sort of connects those two songs there. Except Disconnect, track 14, even though it's a real short little interlude, it doesn't really connect to the next song or anything like that. I love that guitar line in the beginning there. I would have liked to hear that fleshed out as a full song because it's definitely the best interlude on here. I would have loved to hear that guitar line carry on into another song and just hear that kind of heaviness and that energy behind it. Like I said, this album closes in a big way with fade in, fade out. Lots of different feel and vibes to the song going on here, like almost like multiple different sections. It's a bit of a longer track. And again, like I said, it's not something you really see so much in rock music today, so I appreciate seeing a band like this take some sort of chance. It's definitely a good album for them. I don't know exactly if it's one I'm going to continue to go back to. I certainly enjoy it. And even though I don't really skip over any tracks, there's definitely some ones I don't really particularly care for. Like I said, while those first couple tracks are good and they're energetic, they kind of lend themselves to that earlier 2000s rock metal type of feel that, it doesn't really speak to me anymore. And there's some more okay moments with Don't Stop and Funny Little Creatures. Just Say When, while it's a pretty good acoustic song, it kind of, changes it up big time in the course of this album. It's always good to have that kind of acoustic kind of break. It kind of works, okay for me. I do like the inclusion of the strings on it, so like I was saying, not necessarily that there are any bad songs on here, just like a decent amount that don't really stick out to me so much. That, while I might go back and listen to specific songs on here, I don't know if I would particularly always go back to listen to the full album. While I appreciate the concept of doing it, of, going for that kind of album feel, it works, to varying degrees, I think. So that being said, I've kind of been toying around with the rating in my mind for a little bit as I've listened to this thing, but I'm feeling like a stronger 3.5 out of 5 for this one. I was close to giving it a 4. It's very close. Like I said, I think there are too many songs on here that, don't hold up to some of the other bigger standouts. So yeah, let me know what you think of the album, what your favorite songs are, least favorite, if any. Let me know what you would rate it. And, definitely look out for more videos. There's plenty on the way. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.